We open with Sutton holding court at the meeting saying, look, I talked to my lawyer to find out what we've gotten ourselves into. Sutton said, look, I don't know if I want to be around the heifer because I don't want my name in articles about thievery, about debt, and about shiest. Rena's like, why are you worried about your reputation? Because she's not the depends girl and because she has 8 times as much more money than you. She's actually on the board and she wants to stay a trusted trustee. Sutton said, now look, here's a drop of tea. 10 years ago, one of my friends' husbands worked at that firm and the wife told him, you better get out because something's awry. And he did. And that was over a decade ago. Sutton says, I think Erica a lie and the truth ain't in her, and it started with that accident from 3 years ago that never added up, that smelled like week old haddock, honey. It was fishy. Sutton and Dorit point out that Erica and the lawyers are saying the same thing. However, the New York Times says this has been going on for a decade, not 3 years. Child, Sutton pull out a stack of legal papers and she's like, look, we already know $2 million's gone from here. There's another $4 million gone from here. They spent this money. They ain't bury it nowhere. Sutton said, and that little Miss Chris smoke screen, I didn't appreciate. This ain't about nobody's mistress. This is about major debt and federal fraud. So everybody agrees it's time to ask Erica some hard questions because her stories just ain't adding up. After the Ponderoro, we have an actual interesting scene with Garcelle and her family. I enjoyed seeing her as the matriarch. Across town, with a lot less edible looking food, we have Kyle, and ooh girl, this Christmas dinner looks terrible. It looks flavorless. It looks dry, it looks overpriced, but I'm sure it tastes cheap. I don't see no seasoning, not a lick of seasoning. Why is Teddy here? I love that Garcelle said, you know, she's annoying for no reason, like a gnat. However, Kathy Hilton says, I'm ready to have a gorilla. Is that like having a cow? I've heard don't have a cow, man, but a gorilla? A gorilla. I mean, I guess it's the same size as a cow. Your daughter looks like a horse, so I could see you popping out a gorilla. So Erica arrives and everybody acts like they happy to see her, and she gonna tell Sutton, you look handsome in your green. You know, you down and out, but you still shady. Handsome. I guess that is the nicest thing you could say about Sutton's look. It is very handsome. Who's more handsome, Sutton or Rob Dixon? So Sutton asked, did you say hi to Erica? She winked at me. I winked back. That was it. I ain't gonna say hi and make it awkward. That heifer ain't apologized, so I ain't got nothing to say. But we're sitting down to the slop, and Erica seems not just down, but like she's on a Xanax or something. Kind of like how Phaedra seemed out of it at the reunion when she knew Portia was going to call her to the carpet. So Erica says, well, on the bright side, I went to the doctor and I'm healthy, but there's still more of this scandal coming out. And Sutton says, now, are you getting heads up from these people or are you truly blindsided? Erica looks like she wants to slap the money off Sutton and use it for her own debt. Crystal pipes up and says, now you said he turned coot 3 years ago, but things have been happening for over a decade. And Erica just says, I don't know. You was just collecting a check. Erica's so high it looked like she gonna fall asleep. I'm not going to answer anyone's questions. No, you gonna answer, heifer. Or we gonna read your deposé. The chip heifer gonna say, I understand, and I'm not trying to pry into anything. And Garcelle said, heifer. Last night you was singing a different tune. Right now you're singing backpedaling pussy pop. Backpedaling pussy pop. Old lion-ass two-faced chip heifer. And child, the chip heifer throws Sutton under the bus. Up under the bus. The double Dutch bus. Well, we got all together yesterday at Sutton's request. And we had a meeting. And Erica looks at Sutton like, you a newbie and you trying to be against the OG. Sutton said, well, I just wanted to know where everybody was on this. And Erica said, oh, so it's a vote me on or vote me off committee. Yeah, heifer, because ain't nobody playing in court. And you lie. And you tell bad, obvious lies. Easily provable. Here come Renner with the Sutton, you better own it. You better say what was said on Saturday. All of us were not that concerned. I am going to stand by Erica and this plot line for the remainder of the season. Now, Erica, don't be cute. Sutton says, well, I talked to an attorney. You talked to an attorney about me? Yes, because they could be a witness to your spending. And she don't play in court. You're all castmates. You're all in this together. And Garcelle says, you know, she wasn't the only one who sought legal counsel. Kyle and Dorit talked to lawyer friends, too. Kyle said, oh, Sutton, you need to be a little more clear and talk about your fear of damaging your reputation and no longer being a trusted trustee because you're friends with Erica. Tell them how you don't want to be Ruth Madoff. Tell her. Say it again for the cheap seats in the back, the ones that Erica will be in because she's broke as a he-hank. Sutton said, well, since we're asking the hard questions, let's get to the $20 million elephant in the room. What happened to all that money in your LLC? Garcelle brings up a good point. Erica don't even seem mad at Tom. She just seems sad she ain't rich no more. Erica says that she was kept away from the books, even her own LLC, and she was upset about it but couldn't do anything. Okay, girl. Sutton wanted to be mad at the chip heifer backpedaling and pussy popping, but girl, you was doing the same handstand. Teddy, shut up. Just shut up. I don't know why Kyle invited you, but you ain't gonna happen. Dorit, now you doing too much. Questions that you ask your attorney, I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm sorry, Sutton got a right to know. Garcelle said, look, this crap happened to my sister, so if this is real, fuck Tom. It's about the victims. It's not about Erica Jane. Erica said, what they're alleging Tom did is terrible, and if it's true, he'll have to pay a price for that. But I think it's diminished mental capacity. The coot defense. You can't use that from a decade ago. He ain't been a coot that long. He's only been a coot for 3 years. So you've got 7 years of non-coot that he's got to account for. If he stole the money, Erica wants to know where it is. That's the truth. So you can get your paws on it. Girl, I'll tell you where it was. It was in your LLC and it was paying your Amex bill every month. $14 million. Garcelle says, Erica, you'll always be fine. It's the victims that need to be taken care of. And everybody says, oh yes, we're all about the victims. And Garcelle said, well, I haven't heard it. This is the first time I've heard Erica open her mouth about a victim. Sutton asks Erica, do you think we'll ever know? And she's just like, I want to know what Kathy meant by good practice when they said they were sorry about all the questions. Sutton gonna tell Dorit, do you think you threw me under the bus a little? The chip heifer gonna say, I didn't throw you under the bus. Yes, you did. I heard the womp, womp, womp. I feel like the girls did throw Sutton under the bus a bit, but Sutton, you were like, I would say this to your face. I've got all the legal letters. I'm holding court at this meeting. I've come in my little funeral dress. So I mean business. So you was talking tough. So they were expecting that same toughness at the dinner. But you wanted to lower yourself down to a mew. And that didn't work for you. Well, that was the shit, and I'm going to see you soon for something.